Let me start off with a take. Colin Morikawa went out and he fired a 367 at Royal St. George's yesterday. A strong first round. Nothing compared to what he was about to break out with, though, this morning. He absolutely scorched that track to the tune of a 664. This guy was so good this morning, he was 7 under through 14 and had a look at tying or breaking the lowest round ever in a men's major. Not bad for a guy who had never really even played much links golf before last week. But as hot as he was this morning, that is nothing compared to what Bryson DeChambeau did yesterday. This guy opens up with a 1 over 71. Opened up with a 1 over 71. And then absolutely opened up on his clubs in the post-round interview. So this dude, right? I know this guy's speaking like an auctioneer or a hyped-up Pete Carroll. But, I mean, listen to how fast this guy's going. I think I heard him say his driver sucks. You know that old expression that a good carpenter never blames his tools? Well, a big Bryson definitely is blaming his tools. He's putting all the blame on them. Like, I would have had a great round if not for this piece of crap driver that they put in my hands. Like hitting 4 out of 14 fairways and then saying the driver, quote, sucks. Incredible move. I have not heard an athlete this bent at a driver since Jason Williams. You know what? I retract that. That's over the line. Normally, when you hear a golfer complaining about his driver, now that's over the line, Alvy. Normally, when you hear a golfer complaining about a driver, he's complaining about what he did with the club. He's not actually complaining about the club. But not Bryson. He's making it very clear that round of 71, not on him. Not on him. That's on his driver because that driver sucks. His club's under the bus. I'd say that, but that's not what that was because that would not be doing it justice. The sound you heard was Bryson tossing his driver on the ground, getting into a big rig, running over it, and then backing over it, and then running over it again. That beeping, that's him backing over it. Said, have a take, don't suck. Have a take, don't suck. And saying something sucks, it's just not a take. It's lazy, it's not a take. But I'm going to walk that back right now because Bryson's saying that his driver sucks. Definitely a take. It's a terrible take, but it's a take. Like, what do you think? What do you think of my round? Or what do I think of my round? What do you think I think of my round? Me? I'm freaking Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, and Arnold Palmer all rolled into one. Or at least I was until they put that bullcrap driver in my hands. And now I'm no better than you. Now I'm no better than your weekend hack on a local muni. So let's not get this twisted. I did my job. The manufacturer of my bats didn't. Take that for data. Actually, you know what I'll take that for? I'll take that as one of the worst takes ever by that rocket scientist. I love that he started the answer by saying, quote, that's what I said a couple of days ago. If I can hit it down the middle of the fairway, that's great. But with the driver right now, the driver sucks. What I all warned you about, I warned you all about this. I told you my driver sucks, but you people did not believe me. Well, do you believe me now? Because my driver sucks. Me, I'm still a legend. But that driver, worst piece of equipment I've ever been associated with. And then he capped it all off by saying, quote, I'm living on the razor's edge like I've told people for a long time, end quote. Again, I tried to tell every last one of you, but none of you were listening. But do you hear me now? This is not my fault. I'm doing my job. They're not doing theirs. I mean, like I've heard golfers rip into themselves before, like Tiger on the course. I've seen that. But I've never seen or heard a golfer rip into his own club the way Bryson did. And I'm not sure that I've ever heard a sponsor respond the way Cobra did. Because Golf Week reached out to Ben Showman, tour operations manager for Cobra, And according to Golf Week, Showman is one of the people who designs and builds the drivers and irons to Bryson's specs. I would imagine that's not easy to do, knowing that guy. This is what Showman had to say. Quote, everybody is bending over backwards. We've got multiple guys in R&D who are catting this and catting that, trying to get this and that into the pipeline faster. Bryson knows it. It's just really, really painful when he says something that's stupid. End of quote. That is an amazing response by the manufacturer. Like, when was the last time you heard a sponsor refer to the athlete that they're sponsoring and saying, quote, when he says something that's stupid? Like, never. And I couldn't respect it or like it any more than I do, because he's right. That was a stupid thing for Bryson to say. Oh, Showman, done now. He was getting started. Quote, he has never really been happy, ever. Like, it's very rare when he's happy. End of quote. He said that about Bryson. Like, bam, have some. We suck? We suck? No, you suck. That's some Blake from Glengarry Glen Ross stuff right there. There's even more. Quote, now he's in a place, this is Showman still, now he's in a place where he's swinging a 5-degree driver with 200 mph of ball speed. Everybody's looking for a magic bullet. Well, the magic bullet becomes harder and harder to find the faster you swing and the lower your loft gets. End quote. Like, hey, dumbass, you're swinging a 5-degree driver at 200 miles per. There's a chance you're going to mishit it. How about you tighten up your game instead of blasting our equipment when we're bending over backwards for you? And according to Golf Week, it's not like the club guys aren't trying. They've made 7 prototype driver heads this year, which is more than many golfers will have in a decade. Like, that's wild. About as wild as how Showman finally capped it all off when he said, quote, an 8-year-old that gets mad at you. They might fly off the handle and say, I hate you. But then you go, whoa, no, you don't. We know as adults that they really don't mean that. And I know that if I got him cornered right now and I said, what the hell would you say that for? He would say he was mad. He didn't really mean to say it that harshly. He knows how much everybody bends over backwards for him, but it's still not cool. End of quote. No, my man, but you are, Showman. You're really cool. He's not wrong either, right? That's exactly what that was. That was a guy who had a bad day, then came back and started throwing his toys all over the room. Showman did reach out to Golf Week later on to clarify, quote, with regards to Bryson never being happy, that was directed solely at his driver, end of quote, and that he's generally happy with both Cobra and Puma, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we know what you're saying, Ben. But you don't have to walk back any of that. The entire world is on your side on this one. And then let's not overlook Bryson saying, quote, it's quite finicky for me because it's a golf course that's pretty short. And so when I hit driver and it doesn't go in the fairway, it's first cut of rough or whatever, or it's in the hay. It's tough for me to get it out to and onto the green and control that. End of quote. Another astonishing quote. Right, B, I'm pretty much certain that that's the same for every single golfer. In fact, I'm pretty certain that's the way the sport works, B. If you hit it into the hay, it is pretty tough to get it out onto the green and control that. That's kind of the point of golf, right? And then sure enough, he finally gets around to releasing an Instagram statement apologizing for his comments and saying in part, quote, the comment that I made in my post-round interview today was very unprofessional. My frustration and emotions over the way I drove the ball today boiled over. I sucked today, not my equipment. Yeah, too little, too late, man. You see, there was a time not that long ago that I actually found this guy to be pretty interesting. Hell, a time not that long ago where I actually liked this guy. And don't get me wrong, like if you're looking for me to pick a side in Bryson v. Koepka, I'm going Brooks all day long, every day. Except the alleged rocket scientist was kind of interesting. He was kind of fresh to me. Now he's neither. Now he's acting like a hack and playing like one and blaming everyone and everything else instead of looking in the damn mirror. I heard your apology, dude. Just do not expect anybody to accept it because everybody can't get beyond how stupid your initial comments were. You know, the ones that illustrated how you really felt. not the ones that were designed for damage control. You imagine coming off that track playing the way he did, and that's what you go to? The driver sucks. The leads suck. The leads are weak. The bleeping driver sucks. You suck. 1-800-636-8686. You knew it was something if I had to start with that. The only thing missing from that was Showman saying, "You call yourself a golfer, you son of a bitch?"